Hello, how you doing? This is an interesting video for me about why what I'm doing on YouTube isn't working. It all comes from a bit of feedback that I want to share with you, which I found really useful on what I'm doing. So let me find that feedback just a minute. Is from Ellie EME. So thank you very much for this. It's really interesting for me and my journey with this. So hey, Will, long time subscriber here. Thank you. I thought perhaps it would be helpful if I give you some feedback on your videos. Perfect. I love your content, but I too have noticed that your numbers are low. And in that video, Leaving a Narcissist, I'd said, help me get the views back up because it used to be high years ago, but now they're really low. So it's like, she's given me some feedback. So that's perfect. And the views shouldn't be low because your info is great. Thank you very much. As a viewer, I find that your videos seem to be like an infomercial now. And I went, it comes across as a big sales pitch for your coaching. And this is off-putting and causes me to disengage because I feel like I'm being sold to. And it's like, oh no, that's really useful. But it's like, ugh, because I'm British and we're quite often don't like the overt sales. However, I'm going to tell you more about that and why I've perhaps fallen into that trap. So that was really key and quite insightful information for me, and quite difficult in a way, but hugely useful. I remain open to this sort of thing. However, the channels I do find engaging and watch often are the ones where I feel I'm being educated. Info regarding recovery, what constitutes abuse and control, and my experiences are being validated, i.e. the host shares their story. Your channel wasn't always like this, and I feel that your old style was better, where you weren't selling the coaching. If people love your content and insight, they will approach you. And I think that's fantastic feedback. So thank you very much, first and foremost, for your feedback. And it's made me realize that I've been maybe pushing this in the wrong direction, and explains why it's been quite difficult. So back in 2009, I started the videos from a place of passion, my heart, because when I looked at this information, there wasn't much about emotional abuse, especially not about men being abused or experiencing emotional abuse. And I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to explain people, not from a gender point of view, not to wave the men or anything. It's just like there's not much about this issue out there in 2009. There wasn't, and what there was about wife beaters, men, and it was like that doesn't include me. I'm not a wife beater. It's not that physical abuse. There's something that precedes it called emotional abuse. Anyway, as time went on, I developed a program on that online program. That's the laptop thing. And of course, that was about to make money, so I could make a living off this, because this is something I love. I've got a background in personal development. I've been a coach since 2001. I worked in the corporate field in training and development. So, this is a kind of natural progression, but it's in my niche. And it's like, whoa, yeah, I can make a living off this. And over the years, I've invested in coaching and courses and training and how to do sales funnels, which to me was completely alien, in order to get money, of course, stacking, not children stacking bricks, but it's a bit like that, about how to do the perfect pitch and webinar. And it always felt a bit like, I'd immerse myself in this sort of stuff and understand it and build a web page. And it always left me feeling a bit meh, because it feels very American. And that's not a negative thing, but yeah, the British culture, it's a bit like, oh, I'm being sold to. So when Ellie put that comment, and it was like, oh, a shot to the heart, perfectly, because it's like, yeah, I feel that. And because I've immersed myself in so much of this stuff, I've maybe become a bit immune to it and understand that, of course, I can't do this stuff unless I'm making money from it, or unless I get a proper job, and I really don't want to do that. And I say that with jest, but maybe you don't know. But rather than going out and getting a full-time job, because I've separated, I'm a dad, a kind of single dad, I prioritize the time with my kids over having a full-time job and only seeing them every other weekend. So I have them multiple nights every week. So that's a choice I made. And it's difficult to kind of fit work around that. But I do have work that I fit around that. But I want this to be my main thing. I have the passion for this. But maybe I've corrupted myself with how to do it. which is where the comment was so interesting for me. So I've started from a point of passion, and then tried to mix the money with it, to try and monetize it, which makes perfect sense. I can remember back in the day, YouTube, my channel was monetized, and I didn't really understand what I was doing. I couldn't even access comments. It went above my head. I didn't understand it at all. Again, back then there weren't videos on how to do videos and YouTube channels and things like that, which are the tons of these days. So I thought, right, okay, I remember my channel being monetized, and I think I got £4 out of it once, and I thought, what? I didn't understand it, and then it stopped because I was using music on that wasn't copyright, and then it was like, don't know. Anyway, so I'm trying to make money out of it now. I'm really focused on that now and helping people, but I've turned people off by being salesy. And I think not everybody will relate to this, but it struck a chord with me. So I'm turning people off, and the views are going down and down and down. And it's like, wow, my first videos from 2009, they're getting, what was it, 198,000 views. My last one's got 20. So it's like, so it's like, wow, something's going on. And that's why this feedback was so useful. So thank you so much for the feedback. And this comes from a point of view of when I do Google search and trends and follow the trends, see where the interest is. I do it on the green lines meant to be narcissism. So if I use the term narcissism, that gets, it's being searched a lot. Lots of people want to know about it. Emotional abuse, or self-esteem especially, is so small. My market is so small. So it makes sense for me to talk about narcissism. However, there's an irony here, because all the terminology, and I found this all the way through my career and life, and the essence of my video is putting in plain language, really, in experiential terms and feeling. Funny, I use experiential. That's a nice word. But putting in kind of plain language and my experience, rather than the terminology that psychotherapists perhaps use. And I watch a lot of this. I absorb a lot of it, but I interpret it in my own language, and I feel more lay terms perhaps. And I think that was my strength, So talking about narcissism, I thought, right, okay, I'll tie what the work I do in with narcissism and all that terminology. But actually, when I think about it, it's like, I don't like terminology, codependency. I understand what it means, but it doesn't really say what it is, So plain language, it's interesting. This feedback's made me think and reflect a whole lot. So basically, I've turned audiences off. The views have gone down. And this feedback is really, really useful. Again, thank you so much for the feedback. It's entirely useful. So what's the solution for me? The solution is to do it from the heart again. So reconnect from the heart. Not that the heart was missing, but I was trying to do the heart and make the money. So just forget about the money. And I think that's really liberating. It feels really liberating to me to try and forget about the money. It's like, woohoo, great, I've let myself loose again. So in terms of doing the sales pitch, I'll stop all the sales pitch of how or what the course is, what the next step is, because you can contact me. I'll put in the description how to contact me. You can get in contact if you follow the link. That's what I'll say. Follow the link to get to me if you want, and we can have a conversation. End of. Sound cool? So that leaves me the question. I started on emotional abuse in 2009. Because there wasn't much about this. When I do a Google trend, emotional abuse, it's really low, But hell, what I've found over the years is when, because I've stuck tenaciously to this subject because I've experienced it. 3 times divorced. It's like, what the hell is going on with me that I'm 3 times? I didn't want that at all. I don't regret things in my life. I think life is too short for regrets. But it's like, what is it in me that I keep attracting a certain type of people? And I don't stand in my power. I don't stand up for myself. I don't speak what's in here. I don't speak my truth and all this stuff. And I found it's around self-esteem. And it's a broad term that means so many different things and covers so many different things. I've got a test, and it's not a reliable thing, but it starts a conversation, and it covers so much for me. But I call it self-esteem. This self-esteem, and it's wrapped up in so many different things, particularly affects how our relationships, and you can see how that's relevant to me. Our wealth, and if you know my life, that's relevant to me. Anxiety and depression, and that's relevant to me in my life. And weight and fitness and health. you know, and I see it in so many other people. And I've had that journey myself. I've never been hugely, I was 15 stone, I'm 12. I measured myself today, actually, 12, 8 and healthy, and vegan and alcohol free. So, you know, I've been able to take control of myself, but my self-esteem was got in the way. So anyway, my question to you is, what would you like me to cover? What would you like, if you wanted to see my channel, what would you like? If you were watching this channel, what would it be because of? Yeah, what would I be covering? What subjects? What would I be talking about? How would I be talking about? Give me some information. This would be gold to me right now. So thank you so much, for that feedback. I'll put it up again. That feedback. So it is Ellie, Lelleeme. So thank you for you. You know, that's fantastic feedback. And perhaps other people have got the same views or different views. You know, give it to me. That would be fantastic. And if this has been interesting, do consider subscribing and all that stuff. That would be fantastic. So thank you so much for your time. If you've got it this far, thank you so much. And yeah, I look forward to being able to share more value with you. All right, many thanks. Bye-bye.